Okay, this lesson today will take us through how to draw one of the sides on our light. You can see here, this is our light. It's the 3D assembly of it. And what we are interested in is just drawing one of these sides here. What one of those sides would look like, it would look a little bit like this. So we create this, and then this part would be laser cut. So we get our part. Then these would be slotted together to form the four sides of the light. So let's start with this. Let's look at how we can draw this. It's pretty straightforward. It's just simply using dimensions and extrudes. There's nothing too complex in here. It's just a case of being accurate and following the dimensions from the drawing. So talking about the drawing, you'll have this available to you as well. This is the engineering drawing for this side here. And it does look a little bit confusing to begin with because there are lots of numbers, but we will work through this step by step. But just to highlight some of the key dimensions on here, we can see that these two arrows, 1 point here, 1 point here, illustrate the width. So the width is 72 millimeters from point to point. And then the other dimension here, from this point to this point here, illustrated by these two arrows, is 160. So 160 millimeters, which would also be 16 centimeters. And then if you look a little bit further into it, your eyes will start to spot other dimensions if you look carefully. So you can see here that we have this distance. So from this cutout here, which is this cutout here, it is 15 from that side to that side, and also 20 from there to there. And then at the top here, there's lots of dimensions because there's lots of features. So you can see that from this edge here to this cutout here is 6 millimeters. And then from this edge to this edge is 19.6. And then we have some widths here. And then we also have the diameter of the circle at 4. So lots of dimensions, but we'll work through this so you can understand how to take those dimensions and draw accurately. So let's get started. So to begin with, we do what we normally do. We go to Onshape and we will go to Create and Create Document. We're going to call it Light Side 1 and then click OK. That will then generate our work area where we can start to work. Now, today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to actually draw on the front plane today, just because this would stand upright. It wouldn't be flat on the ground. So again, like we normally do, just hide everything apart from the front plane. So click the right and click the top, and then that is ready for you to draw on. So all we do now is same as before. We go, I want to sketch on the front work plane, and then I press N. Remember, I do not touch this area until I've finished. If I finish my design. If I accidentally do go tick, I know people do that sometimes, not to worry, because you can see your sketch is here. Just right click and go to edit, and it'll allow you to edit that, even though you haven't drawn anything yet. It's just sometimes people go and tick that because they see a big green arrow. First thing we need to do is we need to draw a rectangle, and for that we're going to use the center point rectangle. So I'm going to click this, I'm going to go to center point rectangle, or I can press R on the keyboard. And again, like we've been doing before, click from the center, and don't be too concerned at this stage about dimensions, because we're going to do those in a minute. So just click like that. Now I'm just going to check the dimensions. So I can see from my drawing here that it's 128 high. No, it's not. It's 160 high from this point to this point by 72 wide. So 160 by 72. Okay, I can see this is highlighted first. So 172, enter, and then press 60. Enter. So that is the size of your. Actually, I've done that wrong. It's 160 by 72. So let me just edit that dimension. So just click it, 160 by 72. Must have got measurements mixed up there. Didn't look right. That's the great thing about Onshape is you can just go in and change things. So 72 by 160. I still haven't done it right. 160 by 72. Okay, that looks better. 160 by 72. 160 by 72. Okay, great. Then what we're going to do, we can see it's turned black, which means it's fully constrained, which means it is fixed. It can't be moved around, and it's fixed around this center point. That center point will be helpful, and I'll show you why as we go through. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually make life easy for ourselves, and we're going to draw half of it. So all these features on this side, I'm going to draw them, and then we're just going to mirror them over to the side. It'll just save time rather than having to draw everything twice. We just draw it once and mirror it over. So to do that, we've talked about this in the past. All we do is we first have to draw a construction line. So to draw a construction line, you press Q on the keyboard, activates it there, and then you go to your line tool and you're going to draw a construction line through the middle. So to find the middle, you can go to here and you see a little symbol with a dot in the middle. That means midpoint. Just click once and draw your line through that dot like that, and click again, and then press escape. Escape gets rid of the line. If you click again, it's going to draw another line, and if you keep clicking, it'll draw more lines. So just press escape, and then that'll be a line finished. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roughly draw these details in. So there's a little slot here, and this long slot here, and half of this shape. Just rough with the line tool. So here we go. So I go to the line tool, and again, I'm not too worried about detail or dimensions at this stage. I'll put those in afterwards. So first little slot, click it once. Okay, click again, go across. So it's just click and click. Make sure the lines are straight though. Okay, when you get rid of the line, press escape. And then I'm going to do the other little detail, make sure my line is selected. I'm going to click, click again, and then click again, press escape. And then I'm going to draw that center thing and that cutout in the middle. I'm only going to draw half of it because we are only doing half, and then we're going to flip it over using this line in the middle. So click here, make sure it's straight, go down like that, and then go across to here. Okay, then I'm going to click escape. Now, if I go back to my drawing, I can see that I've roughly drawn in that part, and half of this part. So imagine drawing a line through the middle there. I've drawn half those details. Now we need to go in and just add some dimensions. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on the lengths first. Okay, so the lengths first. So I can see that this little slot here needs to be 80. So I'm going to go in and say, okay, this little slot needs to be 80. So simply click your dimension tool, which is this one. Click once, click again, and then type in, pull it out quite some distance so we have plenty of room. 80. Okay, that sets that length now as 80. So another length I'm going to do is this one here. So the bottom of this cutout to the bottom of my light is 20. So again, I'm going to go to that one, and I'm going to do the same thing again. Click here, click here. I'm going to go out to the same distance this time and click 20. So that set that distance from there to there, 20. Now I'm going to also look for another length. So length, this one here. So this total length of the cutout is 128. So I'm going to do the same thing as before. I'm just going to get my dimension, going to click from here to here. I'm going to go all the way out like this, and then I'm going to type in 124. The only reason why I'm going out like this is just to keep it tidy, so I can clearly see which dimensions I've drawn. Because when you get quite a few in, it can get a little bit complicated. So that's that one done. So 20, 20, 20, 128. Any more lengths to do? 80, we've done that one, 160. So they're all done and completed. So now I'm going to look at the widths. So I'm going to look at, oh, one more length there, 7, that little slot. Okay, so again, let's click from this one to this one, and then let's put it like here, and just type in 7 and press enter. Okay, that's all the lengths done. Now I'm going to do the widths. So let's have a look. So 6 from that distance to here. So from this distance to here is 6. So let's get that in. So click that one. From that edge to there is 6. That's good. Now I need to know what this distance is here from this little gap to this little gap. So I can see that that is 2.6 from here to here. These dimensions are the same, even though they're on the other side. I just drew them over there so it'll be less, you can see them easier. So 2.6, this little gap, and then I can see here, this little gap is also 2.6. So I can put both those in. So we're going to go from there to there. Okay, 2.6. And you'll start to see it turning black because that means it's constrained. It means it's fixed to something. And then this one again is 2.6. And then we also have the distance from here is 19.6. So I just need to get that in. So from here to here is 19.6. Okay, so I can see now that everything on here is black, which means it's constrained. I've set the distances, and then we just need to look at this one. So that's there, 124. I need to set this distance, I think. That's 20, I've already done that one. Okay, that looks like it's fine. Let's just double check that, 124. It's actually 128, it says there. So let's change that. And let's move that up now. Distance 20 from there, 128. Okay, that's fine. I could put a dimension in there as well to constrain that one, but I might just leave that as it is. Actually, let's put one in anyway. Let's see what it is. 12. And enter. Actually, probably don't need that one. It's fine. So we've got all those now. I'm not sure why that is still blue, but it's not a problem because I know why it's not blue, because we haven't put in the width of what that would be, which is 15 from the edge. Okay, so I forgot that dimension there. So we need to click from here to here and then put in 15, and then that should turn that black. Okay, so if it all turns black, it means you've got all the correct measurements, and it's just a case of going around this drawing and just checking that you've put all the measurements for everything. Just looking that the half you're drawing has all the measurements, so the widths, the distance from the edges. If you take your time, it's pretty straightforward to do. Now what we need to do is we need to mirror all these drawings onto the other side. So all we do there is we find our mirror tool. So we click mirror, and it says select the mirror line. So the mirror line is going to be the construction line. And now it's asking us select entities to be mirrored. So that's saying select the parts, the lines which you want to send over. So again, very controlled with this. If we take our time, if we click one line, if we just go around and just click, and just watch what we're doing, you'll get all the details in. So this little part now, that. Okay, then move to this little slot here, that, and then that. So if you want to zoom if need to be, and just double check that that looks like everything is drawn and it's done there. Okay, so just press escape to get the mirror tool. Now, I'm not quite finished yet, so don't tick to finish the sketch. We need to now just tidy up the drawing a little bit to make it look like what we're supposed to be drawing. So we need to get rid of these little sections here. So to do that, I'm going to get the scissors tool and just click trim, and then I'm going to trim this one out as well, and then this one as well, and then this one as well. Okay, so you can see it's looking like what we want to now. Okay, it's looking like the part. Last little thing is, it's not shown on my drawing, but I know that I've got some rounded corners here. And that's easy to do as well. We just click the rounded corners tool. Okay, and then all we do is we click one edge to another edge. Okay, and it says radius 5. It's saying click if you're happy. And we'll leave it the standard radius 5, it's fine. Click, click. Okay, and then we'll do the bottom corner, click, and then click. Happy with that. And then click, and then click. Happy with that. Okay, so let's just have one last look, just to check everything's okay, everything's defined, everything's black. All the dimensions look good. So I'm happy with that. So I can then tick that I'm happy to finish the sketch. Good. Now what we need to do is make it 3D. So to extrude it, just going to go to isometric. Okay, don't be so worried about the view being like this. Just click extrude and make sure when you click it, you are like that. Not like this, okay? Want everything to be orange. And Onshape is quite clever because it knows that you want to cut that middle bit out. Okay, you don't have to tell it to do that. It does it automatically for you. And this is a bit thick, so the acrylic we are working in is 3mm. So just click 3, and then we click OK, and there we have our first part completed and done. So what we can do now is, when you've drawn that, if you want to, you can spin it around, isometric, okay, and we can change the color. So right click, and for here we're going to rename it side 1. Okay, and then we're also going to right click and we're going to edit appearance, and then just change the color to whatever color you wish. So let's go for red on this one. I'll find that red today, and then click OK. Okay, and then that is done and ready to move on to the next part of the light.